and get this up. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, wherever you are. I'm Waity Lightheart from the Digital Republic, and it's Coach Wade, the No BS Rants. For those you don't know, I used to do a program years ago in the bodybuilding world called No BS Rants. Well, now I'm going to start that same methodology about sharing with you some truth bombs that's going to allow you to grow and help you in your business, help you in your life, and help you move forward. And you know, the bottom line is tonight we're going to talk about an important topic I think that everybody needs to realize, and that's called innovation. I see you guys on the Facebook up here. I got a Facebook up here. I got another YouTube live going over here. And then, of course, we're broadcasting on Zoom as well. So there's a lot of things happening. I want to say hi to everybody out there as you're clicking in. I may not respond to the Facebook messages as there's only one guy handling all this stuff. We might get to that later. So anyways, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. It's an exciting night. There's exciting things happening, of course, with the Digital Republic. For those who don't know what that is, it's a sales, marketing, and education program using social media that we are now live with and teaching. We're going to talk about how you get a grab and get started inside of that. Plus, tonight, we're going to talk about something that's really, really critical for you moving forward in your business, and that is innovation. What is innovation? Why do you need to innovate? And how does that differ, particularly in direct sales or affiliate marketing or in these social media channels where we have a lot of things going out there where people talk traditionally in business, you gotta duplicate, you gotta replicate, right? And you gotta automate. And those things are important. But there's another piece of the puzzle that I think is going to separate you from everybody else. Say if you're in direct sales or you're in affiliate marketing or you're trying to get your message out as a coach, as an educator, as something like that, and is innovation. So let's just take that down for a series of why that is important for you. Let's first and foremost, what the heck does innovation mean? Well, it means coming up with a new way of doing things, coming up with a solution to maybe a problem or challenge, and by introducing a new idea. And the entire progress of the human race, the entire prosperity of the human race, the reason that we enjoy what we enjoy today in the world as people in this beautiful Western culture from which we find ourselves in and prospering at a level that's never before been happening in the history of mankind. If you are struggling, broke in the Western world today, you actually you're in the top 0.1% of humans in the history of the planet. And that is largely in part because of the step-by-step innovations in society over great periods of time. But what's happened, particularly since 1895, and that's maybe the last 125 years we're looking at, there has been an exponential growth in innovation. So, you know, if you think through history, I mean, there was fire, there was spears, there was the Iron Age, the Bronze Age, the development of steel, the development of the wheel, the development of different military formations, the development of aqueduct technology, the development of building materials. Each one of these innovations moved the population forward, moved society forward. Then and the big breakthrough came in the Renaissance, when the development of the scientific method happened, and that created what? It created chaos. The church was upset. People were condemned. People were burnt at the stake. People were held imprisoned. Books were burned. The cost of innovation for those innovators up there was really, really high. Very, very difficult at that time. But this enlightenment that came about, the enlightenment of the science, started a series of events where people could test out theories, get away from suspicion or tradition or whatever, and move into a new world of innovation. And I'm sharing this with you because it's important to understand the role of innovation in your business and in your life, and why you need to embrace it. And we're actually going to break down the mechanics of that in a minute. So then came a series of rapid development, the development of steam locomotives, electrician, but the big one was the Gutenberg press. Why was the Gutenberg press so powerful? Well, because prior to that time, almost nobody, unless you were very, very wealthy, knew how to read and write. And most of the people who did know how to read and write were members of the clergy, members of the church, monks and various components, and that had a great influence both on the monarchies. It had influence on the public in general, and kind of like the value systems of the world. Well, along came the press and the ability to print en masse and distribute information en masse, and also through large things. You could take a document, right? You didn't have to carry a stone tablet. You didn't have to carry something like, you could carry a document and carry it to another part of the world, and someone could read that then. They could read it 10 years from now, 20 years. So the exchange of information started to happen at an extremely rapid rate. That changed everything, because now people could share these scientific ideas. People outside of the value system of the church could now share their ideas, their value systems, and all things spread. And, the writing of books and the ages, the great books of the Western world, the exchange of ideas and information between the scientific community, between philosophers, between educators, the development of psychology, the development of sociology, the development of economics, all of these things made possible because of the ability to communicate information en masse. Now, I'm going to get to my point here in a minute. So then, things started to happen. We had the development of the telephone. We had the development of these type of technologies that allowed us to communicate people at great distances. It started with the telegraph and the telephone. There was the development of the railway system, so we could move goods back and forth, and we make business deals, record those business deals, make transactions internationally, nationally, that sort of stuff. Things started speeding up. Then the development of the car and the ability for people to purchase cars. And then came a whole host. The development of computer technology was a breakthrough. So that was a way that we could do mass amount of calculations in a very fast period, which have been grown exponentially. So for example, your phone, I saw an interview with Steve Wozniak, one of the co-founders with Steve Jobs of Apple Computers. Your phone has about, I think he said 10 million times the computing power of the Apple II did in 1976 or 1977, whatever, that caused the explosion of the Apple business and the revolutionization of personal computing. We're watching this probably on some sort of computing device, on a computer that wasn't available. You're actually getting a video transmission. This wasn't possible not that long ago. So here's the thing about innovation. Virtually every person who innovates is criticized. Before, they used to burn you at the stake. Or they would imprison you or lock you up, put out your eyes, cut out your tongue, that sort of stuff. But now we have a much more thing. We debate it. We might attack people who are innovators, but there's always a process. And the bottom line, it goes like this. First, people will attack you for innovation. They'll say, well, that can't be done. It won't be done. It's never been done. It won't work. It's against tradition. You're breaking the rules, all that sort of stuff. It's classic, because people are creatures of habit. And also, if you've tried something new and it didn't work, there's a pain registration, and your mind is hardwired to look at that and go, oh, I don't want to experience the pain of a failure. But it's not failure. You try different things. And in your business, you got to be trying different things. And why would you try different things? Because if you are not bringing new people into your business on a weekly, on a monthly, on a quarterly, and on a yearly business, whatever you're doing is not working. And you have to accept that, and that's okay. It's the first step in getting real about your business, and real about the results that you're producing. Now, only when you get real can you actually improve. If you are unwilling to look at yourself, if you're unwilling to look at the situation, if you're unwilling to sit there and say, hey, look, I'm not producing the result I want, I got to go find a better way. Now, I'm going to talk about some key components. So first thing first, I'm going to ask you a question. Is your business growing as fast as you would like? Are you adding customers to your business as fast as the fastest growing people in your industry? And if not, how fast do you want to do as fast as them? Do you want to do faster than them? Do you want to do as good as them, or partly half as good? He's like, well, if I was just doing half as good as that person, I'd be great. Okay, great. So that's sending a mark to you. So do you need to do more of what you're doing, or do you need to change your approach or try some new things, or do you need to try something different? Well, oftentimes people need to start, it takes ownership on how much time, effort, and energy that you're putting forward. But the bottom line is you've got to be able to take control of your life, take control of what's happening in your life, look at the results, and then start to pivot and alternate. Now, here's the thing. We're living in extremely interesting times. For example, in the last 20 years, we had the development and use of mass use of internet, a rapid rise in bandwidth speed that allows us to not only receive video and audio transmissions directly to a wide audience, but also the cultivation of the platforms like, YouTube, which I'm on right now, which on Facebook, which I'm on right now, Zoom technology, which I'm on right now, which is a seminar technology, the development of autoresponders and robotic automation systems, the development of artificial intelligence and mathematical algorithms to see who see this if you post on a social media site, the development of Facebook, the development of Instagram, the development of LinkedIn, the development of all these various social media platforms, which we just take for granted. They didn't exist 20 years ago. We also, the ability to buy and purchase things online is another massive transaction that's been able to happen. The ability to distribute products around the world in a simplified manner is another massive upgrade. So what does this all mean? Well, it means that the speed of innovation is happening at an exponential rate. It's happening so rapidly, it's hard to keep up. So how does that affect you and your business? Well, let's talk about people who are working in a particular industry, such as like the Enagic business, which is a company that's, I'm very part and partial to, obviously. But let's say this. Let's look at the history of that. I got involved in 2007. So in 2003, a few years before that, Mr. Ashira, the president of that company. Now, at this point, the company's been in business for 30 some years, right? It's been around 35 years. It's been in business for 35 years or 30 years. And he's decided that, okay, you know what? We need to capture the American market. Why? America is extremely forward thinking. It's extremely good at marketing. It's extremely good at getting the message out. And the company moved to set up a headquarters. They got the right people involved. And they brought in a team that had experience in the direct sales industry, and they started going. So this was an innovation, quote unquote, by the Enagic business, right? So they decided they were going to go off and do something different and get a different type of distributor in their organization. And that's what they did. And guess what? It became wildly successful. What happened is they started hosting these big events. There was a group called Premier Partners at the time, came up with these ideas. We're going to hold these big events. We're going to have these super Saturdays. We're going to have these change your life weekends. And that started in motion, creating a movement. Now, at that time, social media and all these things weren't developed, weren't widely used, none of that sort of stuff. Now, one of the members of that particular group did something really amazing. His name was George. And George developed a demonstration, a very powerful physical demonstration of the product and service that was DVD. It was a DVD, and that was duplicatable. So people were taking his presentation, instead of having to do a physical presentation yourself, they created this DVD, and most of the leaders, like from Cynthia Brigante to Danny D. McCauley and Eli DeFesh and Bobby Gridelli and all of these cats, Romy Verdera, all of these people. I think Romy was putting out 3,000 of these CDs a month. He was getting as many people in front of the message. And that's another thing that you want to make a note of in your innovation. You need to get as many people as possible in front of your presentation. And as you need to get that presentation as many times as possible it takes to make them a buying decision. Write those things down. But these leaders used this innovation and the excitement. They drove them to events and they did trainings and stuff like that. Along came a company during this process. So then what happened, let me expand on that a little bit. So then eventually this group started hosting events, and then Eli went on and started hosting his events, and then he created a call. He created a call that people could listen to each and every week where they did training from top producers. That was another innovation, because now you could talk to the top people all over the company And they're still running that call, by the way. And of course, what happened? Everybody adopted the calls. Now there's a call on Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every night of the week. There's some expert somewhere in the company doing that because it was a duplication. Plus, these guys were hosting events, and what happened? Eli started holding events. Danny DeMcCauley started holding events. Fred Brown started hosting his own events. And that spawned other groups and teams to start hosting their own events. So the event thing started to happen, and that was another innovation in the company. All of these things kept people growing. There was the development of tools, books, CDs, brochures that came in. Medical experts came in and started bringing in their expertise, and that became replicated and duplicated. There was DVDs and CDs, and then all of a sudden this stuff started being stored on a new technology called YouTube. People started storing information on YouTube. My organization grew exponentially, and I couldn't coach everybody. I couldn't get around to all the events all the time. So what did I do? I partnered up with a couple guys on my team, and we built an automated system where people could go through a step-by-step program and get trained over a 12-week period and have a checklist where they could learn the things that they needed to do and take it to their upline or take it to question. That was the Prosperity and Health Alliance. Many of you have gotten an email for the last 3 years, every single week from this organization. We've got over 100 videos on there on training on virtually every single component of the business. That was a breakthrough. These autoresponders allowed us, instead of me sending out thousands of emails one by one, which I couldn't do, is I could write one email, put it in this machine, and it went out to everybody. This is a breakthrough technology. It's using artificial intelligence and computers in order to lighten the load so I could get more people trained, more webinars going out, more demonstrations going out, more technology. This is another part of the innovation. Okay? Some people didn't like it. Some people said, well, why are you doing that? Well, it worked. It allowed me to hit the next levels in my business. Now, these technologies came along. Now, about 3-4 years ago, there was a group inside of Enagic that started figuring out, came up with a radical idea of how to sell the Enagic business program, or a direct sales marketing opportunity, using a completely different method. Totally didn't focus on the water, focused on a business opportunity, drove people to a closing or a coaching call, and then they would sell people on starting a business, and they advertised to a particular group of people with using marketing that was attraction to that marketplace. That's marketing 101. Find out what your people's needs are, find out what your customers' needs, and fill that needs at. Okay, that was a breakthrough. In fact, out of that group, another 3 or 4 groups spawned off that in the direct sale in this industry using a similar type format, and different cultures, different marketing messages. I happen to get in one of them. And here's an interesting point. The fastest growing office in all of Enagic is a little place called Vancouver, Canada. Now, Vancouver is like 1/10 the size of Los Angeles, yet it sells 2 or 3 times the amount of machines that Los Angeles does, and it hasn't been around as long. Well, why is that? Well, because guess what? Most of the people that started that group came from that Vancouver area, and I think last few months, the top 30 people in the company were all using some of this format. Now, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. There was also another innovation that came about. I'm not sure the exact date. There was another company called EWS that came out, and that was a way to create replicated websites for people for exchange of information and to give data information. And that was kind of an adjunct to deal with all the people producing all the different marketing messages, all the different brochures. I've been a member for many years, and it's been great. It's been fantastic. So 2 different types of presentation and marketing styles came out of the company. The Enagic company took over EWS. The Enagic company came in and started creating genealogies after we wanted them for 15 years. They just did that the other year. So there's always these innovations to meet the marketing needs, to meet the growing demands of the current marketplace. And so I got involved in one of these online marketing groups, and I was like, wow, great. This is an amazing innovation, but nobody is creating a sales marketing education system that's taking the best of the new school using social media marketing and the best of the old school, which is this standard direct sales marketing that's been working for the last 45, and fused them into a platform that dealt with all those components and taught both new people how to start off in that format and started and quote unquote older people or people who've been along the program to do this. And so we created that in the Digital Republic. I'll talk more about that in a minute, about why that's so important and why that's so great and why that's something you can take advantage of. Now keep in mind, since we've done this, Since I've broadcast to the world, broadcast to my distributors, that we have a system, not only is it unique, not only does it market in a different way, and a moral and an ethical and a legal way, guess what happened? There's a lot of people that said, yes, I want to take on this. I want to innovate in my business. I'm not growing as fast as I want. I want to take advantage of social media. I want to learn how to market on social media. I'm willing to put the time, the effort, and the money in because I need a better way to get more people in the shoot so I reach my goals and dreams, right? So that's why we did it. That's why we created it. Now, another group of people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you're not doing it the old way. I can't believe, is this legal? Is this right? Is this coming from this thing? And there was all these questions, all these criticisms, and all this controversy. And I can tell you something. If you are going to innovate, I don't care if it's a new way of stacking the dishes in your house, if it's a new way of cutting the grass or fertilizing your garden in your neighborhood, or a new way of doing an exercise in a job that you're working at, there are going to be some people who are excited about this, that are so overwhelmed. They're like, great, this is awesome. It's a totally better way. And the great mass of people, though, are going to attack you. They're going to criticize you. They're going to cast doubt on you. They're going to tell you why it won't work. They're going to tell you that it's against the norm. It's breaking tradition. It's not the way that things have been done around here before. And that kind of mentality will kill you. It will kill your business. It will crush your dreams, and it will shut you down. This is why we leave corporate life. This is why we leave life in the cubicle. We're leaving this because we don't want someone to tell us an outdated way of how to do something that doesn't make any sense. Are you with me on this? You follow what I'm saying? Like, this is why I got into my own business, because in 1998, after working for a series of different companies in a variety of different areas, I realized something. I'm completely unemployable. I couldn't stand rigidity. I couldn't stand doing things in a dumb way over just because that was the way. I couldn't stand that somebody was capping how much money I made. I couldn't stand that somebody was capping how many people I could influence, because that was my primary motivator. So I had to come up with my own way, and I started my own businesses, and I started juice bars. I did that. I was a personal trainer. I developed an online coaching business. I developed a supplement company. We've made millions of dollars over the last 15 years, helped tens of thousands of people around the world, and we employ 30 people. And we use online marketing strategies, we use social media marketing, we use affiliate marketing, we use autoresponder technology. We use all the latest and greatest technology available to us. That's allowed us to innovate to become a global multi-million-dollar company. And we do the same thing in the direct sales industry inside this business, and I'm excited to bring those ideas to you. But the question is, why do people criticize innovation? Well, anytime that you're innovating, you have to realize something. You are going to displace somebody or something from what they're currently doing. If you have a better way, for example, let's go back in time. I'm going to do something that maybe everybody on this call is going to remember. You go back to the 80s, right? If you go back to the 80s when cassette players, remember cassette players? You had the little things that went, actually go back even further, go back to my dad's truck. We had those 8 tracks. 8 tracks were like this big. They were huge, and they hardly fit. You can only like put 4 in the glove box and it'd be full. And so you only had so many songs, right? And you put those in and you listen to music. Then out came cassettes. Cassettes were smaller. Now you could have 24 in your case. The problem was they had tape, and sometimes they break and you have to tape them back together. Remember all that stuff? So, but it worked. It was smaller. It was a better format of communicating music. And then what happened? Well, then what happened is the advent of CDs. So people start putting information on CDs, right? And people start burning music. And there was a whole music crisis in industry because now you could burn music really quickly, right? And then came MP3s. And MP3, so now I could store on a little stick, I could put like 1,000 songs. And then iPods came out. And then now I could take my iPod and plug that into the car. And, now all the cars had to put plugs for the phone so you could jack in the iPhones. And then other companies came out for it and everybody followed suit. And you know what? People criticized all this. People challenged all this stuff. People were like, that's going to be bad. It was bad. Was it bad for the people in the cassette industry? Yes. Was it bad for the people in the CD industry? Yes. Was it bad for the people in the music industry? Yes. But now more music is being sold, more stuff is being downloaded, more information is going out there, and more people are becoming successful. More importantly, whole industries developed out of this. Look at America's Got Talent, the American Idol, you know, which is also rebroadcast under different forms, British things, X Factor, all these things. Now, ordinary people. Justin Bieber was found on a YouTube video and became a worldwide sensation because he was able to get his talent, his ability, his message out there, and people liked it, and that's what caught him. If there was no YouTube, would he have found that? If there was none of these things where people could practice and get feedback and find information, would that happen? And what's happening now, right now, is that over half the advertising dollars in the world are now being spent online. And there's over 2 billion people on social media. So the reality is, if you're following a traditional format of direct sales marketing, the principles are the same. Can you invite? Do you have sales ability? Can you close? Can you follow up? Can you train? Can you educate? And can you replicate and duplicate? Can you do those things? Well, guess what? Now using automated digital technology, right? By using email autoresponders, by using video technology of recordings, by using broadcast technology like on Facebook and YouTube, you can combine all these things so that you can take a demo virtually anywhere in the world, put it in somebody's hand. You can reach out to them. You don't need them to come to an event. You don't need them to go to Super Saturday. Not that those things are bad. You don't need them to come to a demonstration. You don't have to be a water expert. You don't have to be an expert in business. All you need to do is learn how to use these technologies, plug in these experts, plug in this information, plug this marketing system together, and broadcast, and just concentrate all your energy into taking these things out to people en masse. That's your job. And guess what? That's the most difficult, hardest job that distributors have, is to actually have the, quote unquote, courage to go out, invite somebody to take a look at the project or the business, especially people that, and oftentimes people are limited by the people they can connect with, they can meet and network, and virtually every single person that gets involved in any direct sales marketing thing eventually runs out of people to talk to. They run out of people to talk to in their sphere of influence, or their sphere of influence is not that powerful. They're not that people that are in the business. You might be leaving a sphere. Maybe you worked with, a large corporation, and many of your friends are people in the same town as you that grew up with the same ideas. They're working at a factory. They're not interested in getting into business. So what do? Well, the people say, well, you got to know network. Well, what if you're in a one-horse town and there's nobody around? Well, you got to go to the next town. Well, then you got to drive and you got to spend. So you're spending all this time commuting, you're spending all this time traveling, you're spending all this money, you're spending all this effort in wasted time. You're taking 4 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. Now look, I've done this. I went coast to coast, from north to south, and then global, spreading the message through Super Saturdays, through direct events, to live demonstrations for people in my group, to organizations that I was associated with, for Enagic in general. I've been all around the planet doing that, and I loved it. It was great, and I was able to make a lot of money, and I was able to impact a lot of people and make a lot of friends, and it's fantastic. And I still believe that you need to do some of that in order to grow your business, because people love connection. But I got my organization so big, and I realized I'm spending all of this time doing things that I was doing, like doing things that are taking up time, and I'm not spending time on the one thing that's the most important, and that is bringing new people into the business, reaching out to people who are looking for a business opportunity, who are ready to invest in a fantastic business opportunity, who have the money to do this, and going out and finding them. Because there's literally millions of people today woke up this morning around the world. It's Monday. They said, my job sucks. It doesn't pay me enough money. I'm not appreciated. I don't know how I'm going to continue to scale this business. I have no retirement program in my company anymore. The future is looking out. I don't trust the people who are running. There are millions of people who are going through this morning. They're dreading Mondays. They hate Mondays. Why? Because it reminds them about the hopelessness of their life. They're hopeless. They're like, this is a dead-end job. This job will never let me reach my dreams. This thing has got me stuck. You're here because of it. You got involved in a business because you said, I need a better way. I get that. I'm so fired up. I got to take a drink. So if you're 20, 30, 40 years old, you don't have a background in business, you don't have a lot of money to start. Are you going to go out and start a brick and mortar business and spend $500,000, do all that sort of stuff? Of course you're not. If you do, the chances of your success is about like 2%. 2 out of 100 people are going to be successful in that. And it's probably less than that over 5 years. And you're going to work hard, you're going to work long, and you're going to work for a long time, making less money than you were at your job. And guess what? Your family's going to doubt you. Your friends are going to doubt you. People will attack you. Big box companies come in. It's a jungle out there. You could get sliced and diced because you're moving forward. Now, here's the thing. What's the beauty of the direct sales industry is it involves a proven system. It offers a proven distribution model, a product that people know, love, and need, right? And a system of communicating and educating and inspiring people to do that, and a connection or a network of people that are promoting the same thing you are, that you get overrides, just like a distribution model that allowed Sony to dominate the world in the 70s and 80s, that allowed Amazon to dominate, allowed these affiliate marketing groups to dominate, and allowed Apple. Like, you've got to have distribution. You got to have people singing from the same hymn book, as Danny D. McCauley would say. You got to be promoting a message that people get. You have to be doing that, and you need to be going where the people are. Well, let me tell you something. It's a lot harder to get. You can't, like, people don't answer the telephone any now. So you got to move from calling people, you got to be able to text people. People don't answer that. You got to be able to email people, and you got to do so in a way that allows them to see your message. Now, here's the other challenge. There's all these messages out there. There's all these marketing messages out there. There's all these distractions out there. Okay, so how are you going to differentiate yourself from all of the noise? How are you going to be different? How are you going to take your unique personality, your unique experience, your hopes, your desires, your dreams, and package that in a way that is going to be attractive to someone to say, you know what, I like this person. I want to find out what they're all about. And if you can do this, you're going to innovate how you present you, because in order for people to buy from you, they need to know you, they need to like you, they need to trust you. They need to see that they love you, your company, and and your product. Those things have to happen in order for someone to make a buying decision. And guess what? The buying decision is also what the potential is. So if you're looking, when I did an analysis of my own business, I looked at, well, I got involved in the business because of the health technology. I didn't need a business. I had a business. I didn't want a business, didn't need a business. I didn't have a desire for a business, but I bought it because of the health technology. But after a year, the business was doing so well because of a good system that people had. I was like, wow, I'm making money on this. Maybe I should pay attention. And then that's where I fell in love with the industry, because now I used to get really jazzed about just helping people with health side. Well, then I could help people on a business side too. And then after that, we never looked back. And that's how we got Master Trainer and Dash 4 and all that stuff. I'm not telling you that to brag. I'm just telling you that's how that happened. And then I got thinking about it after a decade. And I was like, you know what? This is the last hope for people. The internet is the great equalizer in life. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter your gender. It doesn't matter what country you live in. It doesn't matter what language you speak. If you have a burning desire for a better life, if you are willing to work and roll up your sleeves, if you are willing to unlearn an old way and relearn the other, if you are willing to handle what many people would call failure for an extended period of time, and if you are willing to keep innovating until you master a specific set of skills, guess what? You can write your ticket. You can write the check that you want. You can achieve your dream life. Now that's a big promise. Now I'm not saying that you don't have to work. I'm not saying that you're going to drive around and take a picture of you in a Maserati and that's going to be it. No, you have to work. You have to learn. You have to innovate, and you need to. But all those things are, you need to break things down to one thing. How many people can you get your message out to quickly, efficiently, and repetitively? Because there's so many. You ever notice that they run the same commercials during the episode on television? Do you ever notice that the same ads appear in the magazines every month, and in the periodicals and in the newspapers or on Facebook? Do you ever notice the same ads pop up on your Facebook page or your Facebook profile or on your Google search? Why? Because those companies know that you need 12 to 15, sometimes up to 20 impressions. They got to see it before they know, like, and trust you. Oh, these guys must be doing it. Maybe I'll click on it today. The right things, the right amount of pain, the right amount of opportunity. Maybe they had some cash. There's a confluence of things that allows a person to say, you know, I'm fed up. I'm taking action today. And you have got to be out there sending that message out there to people. So in recognizing this, understanding this, living on the bleeding edge as I have for the last 15 years, marketing to people online. Now, I'm not saying I'm the greatest internet marketer. I'm not. But you know what? I know how to partner with those people. I know how to hire those people. I know how to get the best of the best, bring them in, create a vision, create a system, put them in there, get some great people to run the operations and run with it. And I do what I do, and that's tell people about it, and that's what I'm here telling you about today. I'm here to share with you that the greatest breakthrough that's ever happened in this company, in the direct sales model, was the ability to sell online. In fact, I was just interviewed by a major online provider, huge company. This company is literally, they are literally building the social media, education, training, and business platforms for most of the direct sales industry. Almost all of them. Almost all of them. Why? Because that's where the industry's going. People aren't going out to events as easy. People aren't. I'm so fired up. I can hardly drink. I just get so excited, man. Like this stuff has been burning in my mind for years, and now we're here. But the bottom line, there's been a change in the industry. Eric Worre talked about it. There's a change that people aren't responding to phone calls. They're 10 times more likely to respond to a text. They're 10 times more likely to respond to an email. Emails, you need to be building and capturing a list of your customers. And you need to do it in a sequential way. And you need to be able to broadcast to them and let them know that you're still around, you're still doing the thing, you're reaching for their dreams. And you demonstrate to them over and over and over that you've got a winning formula, winning product, that you're not going away, even when you're not. And that you're aligned with a group of powerful people who can uplift them, who can train them, who can move them out of the stratosphere, the social economic stratosphere that they're in, and into another social economic stratosphere. Well, how do you do this? You do this by social media, by creating groups and marketing online relentlessly. Instead of spending all your time in a car driving to this event and driving to that event, strategically pick your events and be showing up to an event with a room full of distributors who are ready to be educated on how they can do this too. That's a winning formula. And instead of driving 4 hours in their car, spend 3 hours learning a new system online. Guess what? You saved an hour and messaged to those people that you were going to see. And guess what? You'll get to all the people that didn't show up at the event anyways, who said they were going to because something forgot, or little Billy got in a bicycle accident and they couldn't make it, or their boss forced them to work late. That's why people don't show up. Something else competed for their attention units. And with so many distractions, you need to be able to eliminate that. You need to be able to come into people's homes. You need to be able to get there. That's why I'm doing this broadcast. Okay? There's people on this broadcast from all over the world. Virtually every continent in the world, every time zone in the world is on this broadcast. Every continent receives emails from me. Every continent is watching my Facebook feed and your Facebook feed. And if you understand this and you know how to leverage this and you know how to market on this, you know how to strategically go and find the people who your persona, not my persona, the persona that is you, whoever you are, and broadcast that message out to other people, well, guess what? You are going to have a wildly successful business, and you'll be surprised. There are tens of thousands of people who are just like you, who woke up today and they're looking for a better way. They're looking for a more profitable way. They're looking for a more prosperous way. They're looking for a future because they don't see one where they are right now. And so our goal, our motivation, our importance, what we need to do is we need to reach those people. We need to track those people down. We need to find them and tell them we've got a better way. We've got a better system. We've got a technology that can change your health. We've got a compensation program that can transform your financial life. We've got a system of education that doesn't matter where you are now. If you've never done well in school, you haven't gone to school, you don't know anything, you've only been in trades, or you've only been in social care, or you've only worked in a corporate office. It doesn't matter what that background is. If you're willing to learn, you're willing to work, and you're willing to unlearn what you did before and embrace a new way and some criticism from some people who don't know any better or threatened by you because you're going on the rocket ride of success and you're not going to let anybody stop you. If you can handle those things, you too can reach your dreams. And if you can't handle that, you won't. You'll never make it. And you might as well quit now and just get over with life. And if you're listening to this and watching this, that's not you, because you wouldn't be here. Those people are watching the hockey game, or they're watching the ball game, or they're watching Game of Thrones. Not that those things are wrong. But the reality is, if your life is not where you want it to be, you got to innovate your life. And innovation can go right down to what you're doing in your house. How are you managing your time? How are you managing your calendar? How are you taking control of your life? Who are you listening to? Who are you hanging out to? When you're driving back and forth to work, are you listening to audio cassettes off YouTube, or are you listening to music? Are you listening to the radio and the news and people telling you how horrible the presidency is, or how horrible the government is, or how high the taxes are? Are you listening to that? Are you programming yourself that? Or are you listening to people that are telling you, hey, here's a better way. Here's how you sell more. Here's how you have a happier life. Here's how you... The greatest minds in the world are available on the internet. The greatest marketing systems available on the planet are on the internet. There are groups growing every day of people who want to help you, who are motivated to lock arms with you and to share their experience and to bring you on board. And if you're not locked into those groups, you need to do it, and you need to do it now. Why? Why? Why do you need to? Because we are at a time in the world where this is what's happening. Things are going like this. There are a group of people, like wages have been stagnant for 30 years and expenses are going up. Real estate's going up. Gas is going up. Hydro's going up. All the things that are driving technology. Now, the price of technology is coming down. Okay, the price of technology is coming down exponentially. You can talk about Moore's law and computing power and all that sort of stuff. You can look up that, the singularity and all that stuff. That's coming down, but wages are flattening and the taxes are going up and inflation's going up. But guess what? There are becoming more millionaires faster than ever. And who are those people? Who are those people that are making all the money right now? Who are those people that are growing their businesses rapidly? It's people who are online. People who are, instead of wasting time on social media, are making money on social media. People who are, instead of driving 6 hours, are educating themselves 6 hours and broadcasting to hundreds of people when they would have seen 4 in that group. That's the new world economy. This is the digital economy. It's the digital republic. It doesn't matter what country. 5 years ago, I'm fired up. Sorry, guys. I am fired up tonight. I'm telling you. That's why I call this the No BS Rants. Please don't mistake my enthusiasm for pressure. But I've been in this game for a long time. And I can tell you, I've seen what's happened over the last 15 years. I've seen what's happened in my own business. I didn't even own a computer when I started. I'm a virtual digital idiot. Okay, I left computer science in college to join phys ed because I was going to throw the computer out the window in 1990 when I was going to University of New Brunswick. I switched fields after a couple weeks because I knew I couldn't do this computer thing, even though I wanted to. But guess what? Later on, 15 years later, a guy introduced me and helps me start learning how to sell online, and boy, they're off to the races. And now all my dreams came true because of it, and all your dreams can come true because of it. But why is this so important today? Let me get back to the burning question of why you need to take charge of this today. I hope you're writing notes about this. I hope you're going to send me emails about it. I hope you're going to cause a frenzy on social media. But the reality is, the haves and have-nots are going exponentially. You cannot put a tax on 70% of the people who are making the profits because they're going to move to another country. It's not the answer. Innovators will innovate. Countries who dominate and businesses that innovate will be the new future. That's why Amazon is closing down retail stores around the world, because they've had a better way to get to people who are buying. People are like, oh, they'll never buy shoes online. Yes, they will. Oh, they'll never buy computers and televisions online. Yes, they will. Oh, they'll never buy our business opportunity online. Yes, they will. And there's evidence out there for several years proving that the best, fastest growing teams are doing this. The question is, are you? Because if you're not, you're going on the downhill slide, not the uphill slide. So the urgency is so important that you find yourself a sales, marketing, and education system that you can get to work tonight. You can roll up your sleeves. You can start learning this. You need to get online and listen to the top marketers in social media, the top marketers in affiliate marketing, the top marketers and communicating a message, an idea, a vision online. You need to do this, okay? And you need to know how to brand yourself. You need how to take yourself, not trying to be somebody else. Being yourself is a powerful tool. I got a friend, his name's Jesse Elder. He's one of the most influential people in the online format. He makes millions of dollars with a very small list. And he says there's 3 things you got to embrace. Write these things down: authenticity, power, and clarity. Your message must be authentic to you. Look, I've got friends, they are wonderful people, and they communicate in a completely different style than me. It's true to them. And if they try to replicate the style that I like, not going to work. I'm an intense guy. I'm a former athlete. I lived in a farm where if you screwed up, somebody was yelling at you because you cut your arm off or you get killed. That's the environment I come from. So we speak directly. We speak loud. We speak forcefully. I've done a lot of breathing stuff. That's who I am. It's authentic. Is it for everybody? No. Do I want it to be for everybody? No. Do I care if people don't like it? No. And the reason is because I've got enough experience and enough confidence. When I first started this, I didn't feel that comfortable. I hated the criticisms. I was attacked by everybody online. People hated me. People said the worst things about me. They told lies about me. But you know what? I fought through it. After a year, it didn't bother me anymore. Didn't bother me anymore. In fact, I began to enjoy it. Then I get excited about it. Now I'm really pumped about it because I know when people are attacking me, when people are bringing these challenges to me, I know that this is a good thing because there's interest. Now let's talk about, yes, someone's asking about, what is it? Authenticity, power and clarity. So is your message powerful? Are you communicating away? Are you telling a personal story? Are you telling the emotional classic hero's journeys of rags to riches? Are you explaining there was challenges? Are you explaining there were dragons? Are you explaining there was lack of confidence? You didn't know what to do. People love that stuff. If you haven't read Joseph Campbell's work, The Hero's Journey, go buy it, read it. If you haven't read Carl Jung and the collective psychologies, you need to read these things. The bottom line is you've got to enjoy, you've got to embrace kind of the psychic consciousness that we're all a part of, that we're into, and the internet is an extension of that, okay? And then the final thing is you need to be clear. You need to be clear about what you're offering. What's the offer? What's the promise? How are you going to deliver on that promise? And what's the guarantee? That's what people want to know. Why? Because you want to alleviate what? Fear. Because people have experienced fear in their lives. They're scared that they're going to fail because they went to school in an education system that taught them where somebody said that they were in the intelligence group, or how well they listen. Look, we know now that the way the modern classroom is set up is that it only appeals to about 12% of the people in the class. And you know what? If you didn't do good in school, you might think that you don't have the capability, or that you had to quit. Or if you don't have a university degree, you were told that you're not smart, or you can't have this, or you can't make a lot of money. It's BS. It's crap. The chances are you're probably gifted. You probably have a learning methodology, and there's probably areas in your life that you excel because you didn't have someone telling you who you are, that you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, or giving you a grade on what you performed at. Because the bottom line is, that's the old system that was implemented to teach people how to work in a factory. And the factories are going out of business because robots are building things. Artificial intelligence is building things. Or they're in some foreign jurisdiction at a low-cost base and they're building stuff there. Not here. If you are in the Western world, if you want to excel in life, if you want to make a lot of money or a lot of impact or change a lot of lives, you've got to embrace technology. You've got to embrace the ability to communicate in an authentic, in a powerful, in a clear way. And if you want to be able to make a lot of money, you got to do something that's really, really, really important. Write this down. You need to be able to scale your business. Scale your business. Now, there's a lot of messages out there today in this whole patriarchal tyranny supposed thing, and we're talking about equality out there and all these wonderful things. The reality is you can't have rights without responsibility. Okay, you can't have equality of outcome because it's not equality of effort. And guess what? The internet busts all that. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter your grades in school. It doesn't matter if you're old or you're young. It doesn't matter your sexual orientation. It doesn't matter if you failed 1,000,000 times. If you've got a computer and an internet connection, guess what? You got a new chance. And you can learn the way that you learned. And all you got to do is buckle down and do the work. Do the work. So here's the deal. Innovation. This is a critical driver in business. It's a critical driver in big business. It's a critical driver in prosperity in the world. And it's a critical driver in your life. So I would like for you to do this. Write this down. Write down the couple things. What is this? You can write this down. What is, okay? What is the best way I can reach more people with less effort? Write that down. Write down how many people am I reaching, are seeing presentations about the business, my opportunity right now, and how do I 10x this? If what you are doing, you can't 10x it. If you can't, you go, there's no way I could get 10 times the amount of people seeing the presentation that I am right now. If you cannot 10x, or you can't train 10 times the amount of distributors, or you can't reach out to 10 times the amount of customers, if you do not have that in your business right now, I'm telling you, you will get out-competed. You may do okay, and here's what you're going to do. I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to make just enough money to reach your thermostat. So if you made $35,000 a year working at whatever job, you will work to a point where you're making what? $35,000 a year. You're going to make you are going to follow a system that caps you at $35,000 a year. Why? Because someone told you that that's all you're worth. And I'm here to tell you, you're worth what you ask for. And if you want to make $100,000 and you're at $35,000, you need to be 3 times more effective than what you are now. You need to be 3 times better. In fact, you probably don't even need to be 3 times better. You probably only need to be a fraction % better. If you look at sports athletes, when you look at the thing, the guys that make all the money in the sports athletes, they're only a little bit better than everybody else. But that little bit gets all the money. A little bit gets all the money. And this is called Pareto's Law. You can look it up, Pareto, Pareto's Law, and he talks about the unequal distribution of things in the universe. And that goes into the galaxy, it goes into stars, it goes into animal kingdoms. And, you know, it was in biblical literature, the word of Matthew, for those who those who have will be given more, and those who have not, more will be taken away. Why is it? It's a way of thinking. And what I'm trying to share with you, if you are going to get out of the financial rut that you're in your life right now, or the relationship rut, or the health rut, or the social rut, or the whatever rut you are, you have got to innovate. And what does that mean? You need to do things differently than you're doing now. You need to do things differently than your family did. You need to do things differently than the distributors you're working with. You've got to be willing to try new things, and you need to stick with those things until you figure out a better way. Are you going to get it right the first time? No. Are you going to spend some money learning this? Yes. Is this going to cost you time and energy? Yes. But what is the potential breakthrough? I'll tell you what the potential breakthrough is. Number one, you're going to find out that you're worth a lot more than you may have possibly imagined. Number two, you're powerful beyond measure. Number three, your ability to impact and change the world is way greater than you imagined. If you're authentic, if you're powerful, and your clarity, and we can teach you how to do it. More importantly, we can teach you how to do this through social media. So for those who are wondering, this is what it is. Look, get on the Prosperity and Health Alliance, get on our email list, find out about it. We're going to be doing a webinar tomorrow night at 2, it's going to be 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're doing it every week. And go to the Prosperity and Health. You can see the webinars that we're doing it. Get on there, find out about what we're doing. Tomorrow is going to be the last night. You're going to see this. We're going to show you how to innovate using social media. We're going to show you how to innovate and educate and inspire and duplicate and replicate and all of that stuff. And we're going to use it using the latest and greatest technology in the world. We're going to take old school and put it into new school. We're going to give new school to the old schoolers. And we're going to bring it into this amazing opportunity. In fact, it's done. It's called the Digital Republic. It's the new nation. It's a digital nation, a global community of people connected by the internet that are helping people become more prosperous in their lives. And it's going to help you. And if you're not there, you're missing the boat. So whether you get involved with that or not, that's not the issue. What I'm going to ask you is to go through your life, figure out how to innovate in your business, figure out how to innovate in your calendar to get more time back and do more for less, figure out how to innovate in every single aspect where you are feeling pain, frustrated, or condensed, or held back in your life. Because if you do that, you will change your life, you'll change your family's life, you'll change your community's life, and so on and so forth, and you just might change the world. I'm Way-T Lightheart. It's the No BS Rants from the Digital Republic. I love you. I can't wait to hear from you. I hope you enjoyed this. We're going to be back here next Monday night to do the same thing like we are every month. If you like it, make a comment on YouTube, make a comment on Facebook, make a comment on your social media, share it around the world. We're on fire. We're changing the world. You're part of it. Can't wait to see you. High five. Take care. Lots of love.